Hi everybody, today's cycling video is one of my first. Basically I'm cycling in Leeds and I shall be travelling from Woodhouse to Meanwood, which is approximately 2.5 miles, and it takes about 10 minutes to get there. So, it's a bit of an unsteady start, as you can see, but when it's downhill, it's a bit of a breeze. So, avoiding all the cracks and troughs in the road, we make our way towards Woodhouse. And as you can see, there was a massive exposure on the road in the middle, where you could see the cobblestones. So this is now Woodhouse Lane, and from here I'll be turning right. Now there is a pathway straight ahead which I chose not to do for some insane reason, all in the joy of testing out my new webcam. So I decided to go down this road instead. It was a nice pleasant day for cycling as well, so I couldn't resist. And this building on your right hand side, this was originally a pub, but it was turned into student accommodation. Cycling along a green area towards the left. This is one of those roads which is quite serene, without many cracks in the road until this point. And as you can hear from the sounds and the jiggling of the camera, it is quite a bumpy ride, and the parked vehicles don't help either. Oh, what a jolt. These roads are left in disrepair for a very long time, and I think they should be seen to, rather than left as it is, because the more vehicles pass over them, the more they get damaged. And then there's the extreme weather, like freezing weather conditions and what have you. Now this is the main road which leads on to Meanwood Road, right here, and on your left there's a cycle lane which is short but somewhat handy for this part of the road because it leads up to a roundabout. This is more or less an industrial estate, because there's lots of factories and the like. This road's usually quite busy, but today it's very quiet, I think. And here the cycle lane comes to an end, mainly because there's a roundabout up ahead, but I think it should be continuous throughout Meanwood Road. It was hardly any wind today. Very, very pleasant, very, very quiet. Now this roundabout where that red car is coming, that was that was my entry. That should have been my entry onto the roundabout earlier on, but I decided to use the road further down. It just takes a few minutes off. Now, as I got off the roundabout, there was this massive queue, and I was wondering what was going on, until I realised there was some roadworks going on. But these were further ahead. But the really long queue was a bit annoying, to be honest. Yep, business is open as usual. Just avoid that. Now these traffic lights are up and running, but the roadwork traffic lights are quite confusing, to be honest with you. We shall see in a minute. I'll show you. The guys coming out of their petrol pumps were quite confused, and I'll explain what's going on here. just avoiding these obstacles and getting my tyres pummeled. Now, this traffic light, it says traffic wait here, but this car zooms past and I'm thinking, what's going on here? You know, why wait here? And it was a bit, I was wondering, you know, why are these, why ain't traffic? And then these guys up ahead, you know, oncoming, okay, maybe the lights on the other side of the road are green. But I thought, wait a minute, this can't be right. It was only later on, after about a wait of 5 minutes, that I realised that there was something wrong with the traffic lights on both sides of the road, and a few cars did overtake me whilst I was stood there, so I thought, you know, I may as well move on to the pavement, because I didn't want to risk my neck in the middle of the road while these cars are coming from all directions, well, both directions anyway. So what I decided to do was move off onto the pavement. There were barely any pedestrians, which is a bit silly of me, but I had no other choice. So another obstacle course, which is a bit tricky, but I managed to squeeze through the gap here, which was a bit annoying. And then this lamppost up ahead was I was half cycling and half pushing along, and I just managed to squeeze myself past the lamppost and avoiding the nettles on the left hand side and all sorts of sharp objects. And then eventually I managed to find some open space and built up speed. But where were the road workers? You know, where were the guys operating the lights? You know, they didn't. It's a bit strange. They just left things as they were, and oh well. I managed to get back into the road, back on solid ground. So I decided to stop for a short while because the bumps in the road were making my camera act a bit strangely. So we set off again on the downhill slope, and again this is like a recycling centre on your right hand side, and a typical residential area on your left hand side. A very quiet area. So now I'm officially within Woodhouse. Within Meanwood.